one of the things, some of you may work in companies that have some bureaucracy and some sort of, we've been around for a really long time. We're in aerospace and defense, so it's, very focused and mission oriented. But I think what's really, when you really see things change is when the executives show up. And I mean physically show up, and the transparency they bring to the discussion about what's going on. We have a new CFO, just very transparent with the teams about, at all levels, about what he needs financially. I think those kind of transparent conversations, showing up at events, and as crazy as just modeling, casual outfits, and I mean, there's a role to play. I think sometimes people get too big for their britches, whatever they want to say, and they like to keep some distance between themselves and kind of the regular masses, and I just think that's a huge mistake, especially right now. So I think we've seen that the executives have to show up and have a conversation when they don't, because it's really important to set the tone. In a company of our size, if they don't, it will not. There'll be some pockets of things happening, but systemic change won't happen. So we have to see it happen at the top, and it's something we're pretty vocal about from an HR perspective for sure.
That's really good. And Shalini, what about your experience? Not just at Ping Identity, but your experience. What is the executive's role? You really enjoy it.
Yeah, so Heather and I did have interesting conversation about this. So, I agree with everything that Heather says, but it's also incumbent upon the employees. When you ask for things and you want things and you want the executives to show up, you need to show up too as employees, right? Because, you can have an event, have and I've seen this happen, have executives show up and the employees who want this event or, want to support a certain cause, they don't show up. And it's very tricky and challenging, right? We're going through this transformational stage right now with remote, hybrid, post-pandemic. I think mental health is a huge issue that cannot possibly be ignored. And in order for the executives to, one, amplify the interests and the initiatives of the employees have to be 110% in. And people also have to recognize that the executives, depending upon the size of the company, depending upon what's going on in the company, because there's all different stages of growth, sometimes have bandwidth issues, right? So while if a program exists at a company, you should pretty much, assume that all of the executives are behind it, but they don't always have the ability to show up physically, even though the support is there. And it's incumbent upon the employees to really lean in and support these programs, these initiatives, and also call out, what's not working and what is it that the company needs to do more of to bring more joy, more happiness, more stability, more balance to the employee population. So it's, it's a balancing act. And the critical part for this to be successful is that the employees and the executive team communicate transparently and candidly so everyone understands each other's interests.
That's really good.